got the vibe, got the vibe, got the vibe, got the
Hey, am I damn well I'm taking your shit, then I'm moving on. Damn well I'm taking your shit, then I'm moving on. Hey. Damn well I'm taking your shit, then I'm moving on. You go on with the flow, damn I'm taking your shit, then I'm moving on. Taking your shit, then I'm moving on. Damn well I'm taking your shit, then I'm moving on. You go on to follow on, damn well I'm moving on. Taking your shit, then I'm moving on. Taking your shit, then I'm moving on. Taking your shit, then I'm moving on. It goes with the flow, then I'm taking your shit, then I'm moving on. Goes with the flow, and I'm taking your shit, taking your shit. Taking your shit, then it flows, then it moves along. Taking your shit, then it flows, then it moves along. Taking your shit, it flows, and it moves along. Taking your shit and it flows and I'm moving on. And taking your shit, it flows and I'm moving on. Taking your shit and it flows and I'm moving on. Taking your shit and it flows and I'm moving on. Taking your shit, it flows and I'm moving on. It goes with the flow way and I'm moving on. It goes with the flow way and vibe way and I'm moving on. It goes with the flow way and the vibe way, I'm moving on. Taking your shit and it flows and it moves on. It taking your shit, it flows and it moves on. It goes with the flow and the vibe and either way. Takes in the flow and the vibes and then either way. It takes the flows and the vibes and then either way. Taking your shit, it takes flows and either way. It takes the shit, it takes the shit, it flows and it moves on either way. Hold yourself and love in life. Love a life and you hope you are moving on. Love a life and I hope you're moving on. Loving a life and I hope you're moving on. Loving a life and I hope you're moving on. Let's get into the journey and I hope you're moving on. Let's get to that love life and I hope you're moving on. You get to that love life and I hope you're moving on. Get to that love life and I hope that you're moving on. Let's get to the flow, man. I hope you're moving on. Gets to the love life, gets to the love life and I hope you're moving on. Takes to the flow and I hope you're moving on. Let's get to the pace and I hope you're moving on. It gets to the pace and I hope you're loving on and moving on, loving on, moving on. It takes to the flow and I hope you're moving on. It gets to the shit and I hope you're moving on. It gets to the shit and I hope that you're moving on. It gets to the shit and the pace and you're moving on. Hope you taking yourself in a loving a path to moving on. Hope yourself taking a loving a path. Take yourself to a loving moving on. Loving moving on.